Are you hesitating to take the next step in your self-improvement journey, relationship, or career because the last time you tried it, it got blown into smithereens? And so you're terrified that it may again follow the same trajectory. Well, you literally do not know how anything will turn out. Let me share my own example. When I started my YouTube journey, I had no idea where it would take me. I guessed, assumed, hoped the usual narrative. I will start publishing content, slowly get better, become a successful content creator, and make a difference. Well, so far, no such luck. I am still struggling, and my videos hardly get much attention. But, and this is the big but, I would not change a thing. I may not be where I had hoped, but I have gotten better. I have learned a lot, both inside and outside. Patience, acceptance, learning audio and video skills, appreciating the platform, its nuances, other creators. So, yes, I'm still creating content and my journey is still evolving, and I'm open and curious about what happens next. So, I will say it again. We literally do not know how anything will turn out, and really, that's the point. We have a vague definition of the goal that we want to accomplish before we start, and just this is enough. We start with this and then go along with the detours, twists, and turns and see what happens. But unfortunately, we do not do that. We get nervous if we see anything taking us away from the path that we imagined. We feel something has gone wrong. Now, why do we assume that something has gone wrong and not right? Because of the past. We recall last time when this happened, that bad thing happened. So now this is happening, that bad thing will happen again. And so we start freaking out. Well, this is called projection. Even before something has a chance to unfold, we project the energy of the past onto it. And we flavor it with the energy of the past and approach the situation with negativity. And I'm not saying we should ignore any feedback or not have checks and balances or not make changes when needed. But just to assume that something will fail because it is following a different path than what we imagined is futile. Instead, relax, understand, really understand. You do not know what will happen. You only think you do. And not knowing is a good thing. Uncertainty is a gift. Use this gift to stay open and see what happens. If you feel this is toxic positivity, okay, don't do it. But then don't believe in negative thinking as well. Stay neutral, let the situation unfold, and then decide. In other words, don't decide ahead of time whether it is going to be positive or negative. See how it unravels. Don't start complaining the moment something seems off. Oh my God, I know what will happen. I shouldn't even have tried it. I knew not to get my hopes high. This always happens to me in my life, relationship, career, and so on. Instead, remind yourself, remember, this situation has not happened yet, and so I will wait and see what happens. I will not project the past onto my future and stay open. There are so many examples when things turn out completely different than what we expect. Sometimes good, sometimes not so good. But hey, that's life. If we try to control and white knuckle everything, then we'll drive ourselves neurotic. And also, there is no novelty of experience in that if we know beforehand how everything will turn out. Check out how many adversities Abraham Lincoln had to undergo before he became the president. That requires a lot of mental fortitude. And we are only talking about small things. If we cannot let go when bigger things in our life are concerned, we can surely try it for smaller day to day things. To not judge that everything is against us. To not give up when it looks like things are not going our way. Let's take a look at a few real life examples. Someone who was a musician lost their flight seat upgrade at the last moment and were bumped down to coach, where they ended up meeting a budding artist and they collaborated on a lot of projects. Another example, someone got late to a job interview because they got into a fight over a parking spot with someone who later turned out to be the interviewer. We can all guess how that would have gone down. In the first case, if the person had resisted, argued, and refused to travel coach, they might have missed out on that opportunity. In the second case, if the person had accepted the situation and offered the parking spot to the other person, that benevolence might have helped them later. Another example is the burnt toast theory, which is based on the idea that burning your toast in the morning might cause delays that prevent you from being in a dangerous position later. Maybe you avoided an accident because you got late because of that burnt toast. So we can look at small hassles in our life with more optimism and understand that there is a reason for everything, even if it is not evident right away. And so we can acknowledge it was a little bump in the road and it was annoying, but then we can let it go. The point of power is in the present moment. It is a neutral point from which we can go in either directions. If we are frustrated by what happened, we will continue to bring that energy in the present moment. Instead, if we drop it, then we can think clearly and make better decisions. Really, it is logical. Go ahead, try what you've been wanting to do. If you're thinking of asking that person out, do it. If you think that you might get rejected, so what? Try it and find out. Thinking about something and dreading the outcome takes us nowhere. That's why mental loops are so defeating because they keep us stuck. We are just in our minds thinking about a situation and we feel, what are we going to do if this happens? But in reality, that is never the case. In reality, we take action and whatever the result is, we work with it. We don't stay stuck. But mentally, we are not able to go anywhere. Taking action and then working with the outcome is what moves the needle. We all know examples of people who even broke up and then got back together and their relationship was stronger than ever. Imagine if those people stayed in those relationships. They would have always doubted their decisions because at that time they didn't feel it was right for them. But later, when they broke up, they clearly had the experience that they made a wrong decision and they got back together. And so their relationship was more meaningful to them. So, yes, do your homework, define your goal, strategy, game plan, and then get started. If there are any diversions on the path, go along, see where it leads you. Life has a way of hitting our blind spots, but that also makes us more resilient. So, if you see any diversion on your path, first course of action is to not despair, not project the past onto the future, and not launch into complaints. The old conditioning wants to take over. It wants to reject the situation. It wants to constantly complain. But here is where we can make a difference. We need to stay alert and conscious and then steer our mind in the right direction. It takes practice, but slowly over time, we can make a difference. It is like training a muscle or learning math. Slowly, we can create new habits and patterns of thinking. So, pause and reassess, but don't quit. Maybe it leads you somewhere where you needed to go before you reach your goal. So, go along the detours, don't dismiss them. Also, never compare your journey with others. Trust your own guiding mechanism. When we project past failures or expectations, someone else's results on the outcome, then we look through a narrow lens, and so we cannot use the results constructively or appreciate them. As cliche as it sounds, go with the flow and see where it takes you. Lastly, another story. Sam didn't want to go to his friend's party because he did not know anyone there. But he couldn't get out of it, so he ended up going there. He was miserable the entire time, and so he stepped out onto the balcony to get a reprieve. He found another person there doing the same. They hit it off, and that miserable party changed the course of their lives. Thanks for watching.